skips away. Marshall skips away. Marshall's still going. Marshall's got Richards coming up outside. Now inside.
Arsenal have gone through an entire league campaign without losing.
Bennett and the Dragons win the grand final.
Welcome back to another episode of the TGIF Podcast. Thank God it's footy. How's the week treated you, my bro? I mean, we had NRL footy to wrap up the weekend.
We did.
A big countdown towards the first Tigers and Dragons game this week. So we're getting excited.
We just got to get into a bit of footy over the weekend. And I mean, the first game for me, I listened to rather than watch on the way back home, and then sort of got into that Sharks Penrith game there, and it was just good to have some proper. Good quality footy. Obviously, first game ends up being a bit of a blowout, which is no complaints from me whatsoever. Raiders putting on a good show over there, and then second game, Sharks putting on a little bit of a second half comeback there to keep that game interesting up against Penrith, we're this time in 2 days. Hopefully, I will have just seen a good Tigers win there Friday night with us playing in that first game there, 8 o'clock kickoff. So it's exciting times. It's crept up on us, and here we are, round one in our footy.
100%, yeah, definitely crept up. Plenty of good cricket action, Premier League football, etc. to get you through the off season, but nothing quite hits like that Sunday afternoon NRL. We're getting in with some Friday, Saturday action this week as well, so it'll be good to see. But before we crack into that, as you said, a couple of good games over there. Well, one good game, one not so good for the neutral. Really good if you're a Canberra's fan or a Warriors, anti-Warriors man like yourself. But 30-8 that first one. I suppose you might not be too surprised, but I think there's a fair few out there that were sort of surprised at, how woeful those Warriors were.
I think I was probably more surprised at how strong Canberra were.
That's the other side of the call. I mean, Ricky was seething in his post-match conferences saying, I told you pricks, basically, I had them down
there near the bottom sort of thing, maybe not taking the spoon as such, but down there in that sort of bottom four. And I did pick a Raiders win, but I didn't think it was going to be such a big blowout.
It was dominant.
I did think Warriors probably had a little bit more in them, and I thought, they're quite an occasion team, if that makes sense. They play well for an occasion, and there would have been heaps of Kiwis that would have travelled over there and wasted their money. So you would have thought that they would have put on a little bit more of an effort, but nothing to repay those Warriors fans with their faith there. So
fingers crossed that our fellow Kiwis' luck over there went a bit better at the Cass compared to at the Allegiant Stadium there on Sunday.
There was a Kiwis couple that got married, I saw.
Yeah, I saw James Fisher-Harris's auntie got proposed to during the game.
Is that who it was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Rose Fisher-Harris, apparently.
Yeah. Oh, good on her.
So good little moment for the Fisher-Harris fan. His first appearance for the Wars. Obviously not too memorable on the field, but I suppose they'll remember that one in the family for a long time. And then that second game, as you said, Cronulla really spirited comeback there through the second half. Showed a lot to bring that game back and have a chance at the death there, really.
Oh, it made that second half really interesting. I thought that was probably the best half of footy over the weekend, that second half there where Sharky Penrith had a bit of a lead on and Sharky sort of covered to sort of keep it interesting, but they just didn't have enough to sort of get past that Penrith team featuring that new look halves combo there of Cole and Cleary, and I thought Penrith played well, but Sharky sort of showed that they'll be up for those big games this year, and
I think that's the big difference. Obviously it's only one game and it's only round one. Lots of people pointing to the fact that those Penrith lads hadn't had a chance to sort of run out, blow the cobwebs out in pre-season.
Yep.
Particularly, those key players, obviously. Nathan coming off season shoulder
Yeah, I don't. That's the thing. I
Surgery,
think there's some players out there that just you don't really need to be.
Obviously,
they don't need a preseason game. You know what I mean? Like they can get away with not playing. Particularly the best of the best. So I think I picked the Sharkies going into that one. I had the Sharkies down for a win there, and I wouldn't say I was surprised that Penrith took the win, but pretty solid showing I thought from both teams. Just to start off the season.
Yeah, I guess it is only round one, but positive signs for Cronulla that come the end of the season where they have been sort of criticised, they fall away in those big games. Looks like they've narrowed that gap a little bit. Nico Hines maybe not his best ever game, so if he
not a shocker though,
if he finds a bit of form, I reckon there are very very big chances.
He's a big player that needs a preseason.
If he can rediscover even 80% of his Dally M winning form, I think they're a really good chance now with
I think it's having
before the show
having Fanua Blake there with him. We saw what Sean Johnson could do with him in front of him, and I think Hines will be able to. There'll be magic that will be able to be made there. I think with that combination there, so it'll be interesting to see how the Sharkies go and whether they can be one of the teams to sort of push. And challenge to break this run of Penrith wins.
Yeah, 100%. It's going to take something special, as we saw on Sunday Arvo there. Penrith holding on strong, but I suppose we'll crack into Friday's first game there. We're rolling with the game on Thursday. I suppose it doesn't really matter.
Broncos Roosters tomorrow, I believe it is.
Yep, that'll be a good one.
Yeah, 10 o'clock there tomorrow for us Kiwi fans. But first game there, Friday night. Tigers up against the Knights there in Campbelltown. Pretty full strength team there for the Tigers, barring Uppy, obviously banned for this one, and then Buller. Buller not playing in this one. Heath Mason there named at fullback, but we've got all the new troops in there. Everyone else is having a run out, so. It's going to be interesting to see how we go. Obviously, had a good showing there last week, but now we get to see them all play out there together. It's definitely something I'm excited for. Not the best recent memories there against Newcastle. I can remember last year Fletcher Sharp scoring 4 up against us. Where what is that? That's 4 years now since we've
you have to go back to 2021 there for the last Tigers win, 6 in a row for the Knights. It was pretty obviously before that Tigers all time having a bit of a lead, but Newcastle have edged the fixture there. Even at Tigers home grounds, they're sitting at 9 wins and 8 losses, but.
Thankfully for the Tigers, about 6 different stadiums, I would imagine.
Yeah, thankfully for the Tigers, you narrow it down to Campbelltown. They've got a positive 6-4 ratio there. Well, obviously, history is not going to play a single part in this fixture here. As you said, there's a lot of buzz around the Tigers with their new signings, seeing how they can come out all gel together. We saw them sort of in drips and drabs over the pre-season, but Luai and Taruva maybe as well, or did Taruva appear in the pre-season?
I think we saw Taruva, but we didn't get.
Yeah, we haven't seen Luai.
No, Taruva might have been on the bench actually. I
don't remember seeing him.
I don't think he did play. I think him and Luai were both rested.
Yep. Okay. So a couple of fresh players for the Tigers there, as we've said. So lots of buzz. Whether they can gel together, I think on paper, across the board, the Tigers look like probably the stronger team in this one. But there's a special name for that Newcastle side at the back, Kalen Ponga.
Yeah.
He's capable of anything, really. I think he's probably a big reason for that 6 in a row for Newcastle as well.
Yeah, if he turns up there,
3 or 4 man of the matches, and then amongst that.
Yeah, if he turns up there on Friday, then I think they're definitely in for a good shout. But I sort of say it every year, if we can go out there and have a good start to the season, get a win on the board in this game, and go into next week with a little bit of confidence. That's all I can ask. Well, all I can ask for really is a good 80-minute performance. If we can play for 80 minutes, that's what I'll be happy with. 80 minutes. I mean, if we lose by 4, 6. You're in it right to the end. No silly errors and no silly penalties. I mean, even in that game last week, we saw silly penalties, which is what had sort of crept into the team over the last few years. Obviously, too many sin binnings and things like that. So, ideally, 13 men on the park at all times, and a good close loss if it's a loss. But yeah, in 80 minutes, that's what I'm after. Come Friday night.
Yeah. Should be a good one actually. Not too rough of a start. You got the home advantage as well, even though it is at Campbelltown. But yeah, that'll take us obviously into another fixture on Friday night there. But I'll probably be shooting off to bed, getting ready for golf in the morning, possibly just catching the highlights. But Saturday, 7:30, I'll be definitely sitting on the couch, tuning in, excited as anything. Dragons versus the Doggies first up. So can't say I would prefer the Doggies over the Knights. I think you've got the easier first up fixture there, but we've both got the home advantage. I suppose the Dragons are coming off a relatively good pre-season there, so if we can continue a little bit of form, you never know what might happen. But yeah, the Doggies, on the other hand, they'll be welcoming back a number of stars that we might not have seen too much throughout the pre-season. It's a similar story, really. You got to go back to 22 for the Dragons' last one in this one, although only 3 in a row across the last 2 years. But yeah, same story as the Tigers, really. Number of new recruits coming out for their debut. Obviously got Gutho, Val Holmes, Damien Cook, the main 3 there.
Gula obviously named to
Gula
start
as well is
as
coming to the starting team.
It's an interesting looking Dragons team.
You've got the Couchman brothers.
No Lomax, no Ben
One
Hunt.
starting, one on the bench. Exactly.
It's a very new look Dragons team, and that kind of probably the first season we've had where the Doggies team has kind of looked more similar to what we've seen obviously in the last few seasons.
Yeah, we're used to them pulling off 5 or 6, so big off name.
And a bit more quiet. They seem to have a bit more stability in what their lineup is, and it's probably it's a good chance for Dragons fans to see what the new look team's going to do. The Doggies, whether or not they needed to go out there and throw a bit of money around and continue that influx of signings there, but it's an interesting one. I think this one, new look Dragons team, a Doggies team that obviously last year finally started to look like they were playing some good quality footy there with the players that they've got. But we've obviously we saw some good footy from both over the pre-season there.
Yeah, Doggies, who did they play pre-season? I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, but I'm pretty sure they might have had a win and a loss. I think
win and a loss. Yeah. Okay.
And then obviously Dragons.
Dragons with the 2 wins.
Equal there, was it? Points difference.
Yes, correct. First equal, second on points difference. But yeah, we're not getting too excited about that. The season proper starts here. It's going to be a big game, local derby, so both teams will be up for it. We saw a huge one towards the end of last year. So hopefully the Dragons boys will be up for a bit of revenge in this one. Can't say I'm overly confident about it, but it's a new season. You got to go in with a bit of hope, dreams in your sail at least.
Yep.
Lots of people tipping us for the spoon, so hoping to, as you say, pick up a couple of early wins and start to prove those doubters wrong a little bit.
I think that's what it takes to sort of try and to get yourself out of that bottom 4 early on, and then be the team being chased. But I think I've probably got the Dragons sort of thereabouts in that bottom 4 as well.
Yep.
Probably, I think Canberra, Titans, Dragons, Tigers, Warriors, and maybe Para, depending on how they start the season. I think they're the teams that are going to be there or thereabouts at the bottom.
Yeah.
And then if you're going to chuck a smoky in there for someone to maybe just miss the 8, someone big, maybe someone like the Roosters.
Definitely the Roosters.
Missing quite a few players, so
they'll have a tough season, I reckon. I reckon their season hangs on James Tedesco's health. If he's good, I reckon they're fine. They'll be there or thereabouts for a top 8 finish. Probably not top 4. Don't have the strength and numbers, but they've certainly got a few guns there. But the likes of Teddy, Angus Crichton, Victor Radley get injured. They're certainly looking at a pretty bare bones squad there in terms of what we've seen from the Roosters in years gone by. But it's a good call, good smoky call. I guess we'll have to wait and see, really. Everything's open, out in the open at this stage. We've got the Warriors sitting in last. The Sharkies, they're in 16th at the moment. So, call the season off now. You'll be a happy chappy.
I wouldn't mind that,
I don't know if
taking
Wests
the spoon.
are too high on alphabetical order there, though.
I'll take it above the Warriors.
As long as it's not the spoon.
Above the Warriors, that's the main thing.
Yep.
But yeah, plenty to look forward to there over this weekend. Obviously,
100%.
another couple of games chucked in there as well, but they're the main two ones. Friday first game and Saturday first game for you Tigers and Dragons fans. But we have had a couple of games of Arsenal there over the last few days. We had a Premier League game there over the weekend and a record-breaking win there this morning. But we started off, big game up against Nottingham Forest. And I think in retrospect, come away with a point. I think going into it, it's probably not the worst result. I think the way that Nottingham Forest have been playing, the goals that they've been scoring with Chris Wood leading the way and us not having anyone up top at all to play.
Yeah, exactly. If you look into all of those factors, it's probably a fair enough point. You probably would take it on most days, but yeah, definitely not what we needed. With miracles on the line even before this game, it's definitely getting into miracle territory now. But yeah, no striker. Chris Wood absolutely causing havoc. I think it was 4 or 5 goals in his last 3 at the City ground there. So to keep him relatively quiet, I think he had a couple of good chances, but sort of snuffed out by Gabriel and some good defending by the lads. But yeah, Nottingham Forest, on the other hand, we're probably twice as desperate to keep those goals out. Insane defensively.
Yeah, they bossed us in the back, I think.
Yeah, we're also very uninspiring without any striker. It's tough. It's tough when you're trying to create the perfect goal, which is what Arsenal seem to get hung up on more often than you'd like to see. But
taking too many passes, trying to find that
exactly. No one letting it rip from distance when they've got half a chance. But yeah, no credit to Forest. A clean sheet, not the worst, but yeah, anything but wins is not going to cut it for Arsenal at the moment, and you're going to have to throw in 4 or 5 Liverpool losses there, so you can write that one off.
You say goodbye to the league title already.
I've said goodbye to it fucking a month and a half ago.
It's a Liverpool championship this season, but the way that we managed to go out there and play this morning. Knocking in 7 goals, first team ever to score 7 in a knockout game.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That first Champions League is on the horizon, possibly.
Look, there's certainly going to be a lot of tougher opponents to get through than the likes of PSV. No disrespect to them. They were coming in with an impressive aggregate victory over Juve to qualify for the fixture, but. Outside of that, they weren't in the best form. They'd lost a couple of times to go-ahead Eagles and a couple of draws there as well. But 7-1, honestly, like my last point there is we need to find some goals. That was written Tuesday afternoon before the game there. Looks like we found some goals there. Hopefully we haven't burnt them all out in one game.
Yeah, well, I mean, pretty dominant display in that first half there. We managed to score 3. Obviously, giving away a penalty then there, sort of near the end of the first half.
Yep.
But yeah, coming out second half, scoring another 4, sharing the goals around as well, which is good to see. Obviously, Marino, was named up top as the striker, he had a lovely little finish. Erdegaard back in some scoring form, Nwaneri scoring, Trossard back on the score sheet, Calafiori finishing it off with a lovely finish there. So it was good to see, and good to see one of those games. Not often where we can go out and have those 2 dominant halves like that. But it's probably also good for us. I mean, we don't really have the luxury of being able to rotate really, but we can maybe rest 1 or 2 players going into that second leg now.
Exactly. You can.
Not that we even need to, I guess, for the league, but you don't want to just obviously blow it out and finish in 4th or something like this after being up there for so long. But you probably can afford to rest someone like Gabriel or Saliba maybe for a game in that next league there up against PSV. With them, I highly doubt they're going to go out there and score 6 against us.
Yeah. Look, Luke de Jong's a hell of a striker, and they've got some good talent in and around them. But if that happens, God, there's something that's gone wrong. That's for sure. But awesome performance this morning. Hopefully sends a little message to the rest of the Champions League. Like you said, we are ready to take it deep at least. Our next fixture is going to be extremely tough. Do you know how that Atleti Real First League ended up?
It was 2-1, I believe,
2-1,
final score.
No one knows really what's going to happen there.
2-1 in that one. Dortmund and Lille drew 1-1, and then we had Villa beating Club Brugge 3-1.
Okay, shout out Villa.
So,
not bad from them.
I think tomorrow, who do we have tomorrow? No, that's next week. Other side? Oh, maybe that is.
I think the other side plays next week.
Oh, no. There we go. 6th of March. PSG, Liverpool, Benfica, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Bayer Leverkusen, and Feyenoord, Inter.
Okay, so they play tomorrow.
So we end up, it's looking like possibly at the moment it could be Arsenal versus Real. You've then got, I'm going to go for a Villa-Liverpool quarterfinal there. I'd say Liverpool to beat PSG. Then I'm going to go Dortmund, Barcelona, and then probably Bayern Munich, Inter. So we're looking like Real Madrid and then possibly Liverpool to play if we can get past them. So it's going to be a tough run. Obviously, it's the best of the best now once you get to this stage of your knockout European footy. But that must mean, who do we have there this weekend? The Arsenal. I'm guessing we must be playing this Sunday night. No, Monday morning, 5:30 up against United.
Yeah.
I mean, over the years, you'd say it's one of those tough ones going to Old Trafford, but anything but 3 points in this one, and it's an absolute shocker, I think.
Yeah, look, I think there'll be some Arsenal players out there ready to sort of remedy that shocker we had in the FA Cup a few weeks ago up against them. They went down to 10 men. We still couldn't then break them down enough. But ever since then, I don't know if United have really had a good performance. I mean, they might have picked up a couple of wins here and there, but surely more losses than wins.
They're falling apart. They're sitting there.
Like ever since Amarin's come in, I'm pretty sure he's lost like 7 or 8 games, is he not?
Yeah, they're
out of like 10 or 12.
14th, 1 point ahead of Everton there, who are in 16th. Obviously, 11 clear of Wolves, but very, very lucky that they're, to be fair, not in a relegation battle, I think. I mean, it does look pretty set that those bottom 3 there are going down, but if Wolves sort of fall off a little bit, there's no reason why they can't be one of the teams that sort of drops off. But yeah, it'd be a bit of a shock. I think anything but 3 points up against United there on Monday morning.
Yeah, 100%. Look, I guess we've found our goals now, so fingers crossed a couple of those lads that got on the score sheet this morning can back it up. Yeah, I mean, years gone by, you'd be a little bit nervous about a United fixture, but I've probably never been more confident, even with our team
Oh, 100%,
with
yeah.
so many injuries
It's
at the
a
moment.
it's a lower table side. I think that United team, barring Bruno Fernandes, really, I think that's probably the only player that kind of walks into most other teams in that United lineup. But yeah, things are not good for them at the moment. So it's a great time to be coming up against the Red Devils there.
100%.
The old darting world. There's been plenty going on over the last sort of week or so. We had the UK Open there over the weekend. Obviously, some Premier League darts there over Friday morning. I actually, top of my head, and I haven't written it down there. I can't actually remember who won there Friday morning. I think it was a Gerwin Price versus Littler final, but then I also might be getting mixed up with the week before. Let me just have a little look-see here. Must have been round 4. It was. No, it wasn't. It was the two Lukes. That was the week before there that I was thinking of. But the two Lukes coming up against each other, and Humphreys taking it out for another Premier League night one there. But it was the UK Open that was probably the big one there over the weekend. Obviously, plenty of players involved in that one there. And a nice little chance there over the weekend as we were, a few of us boys who all went away and still being up still at that time when the darts is on and being able to tune into quite a bit, seeing hopes.
Double screening it.
Yeah, double screening it there for obviously 8 boards going there at the UK Open. So quite an interesting sort of layout. You've got all the big games there on the main stage, but then you've got sort of very tournament style, local tournament style darts sort of going on, where you've got some of the biggest players in the world playing like 10 meters away from another group of players. You can hear the fans cheering on players on another board, and but good to see Hopes get out there. I think made it all the way there into the 4th round there. Hopes before coming up short against Dylan Slevin, I think it was there on must have been Sunday morning. Probably the matchup of the weekend, though, would probably have to be Bo Greaves up against Humphreys, taking it all the way out. I think it was 10-7 the final score there for Humphreys. But, yeah, Bo Greaves definitely giving it a really good crack. Dominant displays in her first 3 matchups. But Luke Littler managing to make it into another final. And James Wade, one of the OGs, who had sort of come out and said that it's not about these big high-scoring youngsters. It's about being able to hit the double at the right time. And I believe it was 11-2, the final score there to Littler. And basically just, put him in his place. I think it's must be his fifth major that he's won there this year, Littler. So I believe, I just want to double check that, but I believe we may now have a new world number 1.
Yeah.
Possibly off the back of that. Humphreys might still be top just. Where are we? Yeah, no, still top by quite a bit. I've seen 600,000, so still a decent bit of catching up there that he's got to do. I'd seen something there that said something about a new number 1, but obviously not for a wee while.
I'm on header there up into 7th.
Yeah, he's been playing some really good darts. I've obviously seen a bit of a few sort of changes. You've got Michael Smith down there now in 17th. Dimitri van den Berg in 20th. They were both in the Premier League there last year or the year before. Plenty of movement. I think Hopes now after the weekend that we did see a jump up. There we are, up into 88th. So, I mean, I don't think we see him up this weekend in Belgium, but I think he must have a few more qualifiers coming up. He's obviously got to, has to have a couple of good runs to sort of make have any chance of sort of jumping up. I think top 64 is where you need to be in for I can't remember what the tournament is, but that is sort of the cutoff there. So if we can see a good run in like a Players' Championship or something, for Hopes, it'd be good to see him sort of bank on a little bit more money. But off to Belgium there this weekend, but we do have some Premier League action, and I've got you a little Kangarooki. Unfortunate there last weekend. I think we were out first game again like usual. But this week I've gone Gerwin Price to beat MVG there in that first one, paying $5.50. Littler to take out Dobie, coming in at $2.50. Humphreys to beat Cross there at $3, and Bunting to take out Aspinall at $4.50. I believe Bunting yet to win a game in the Premier League, or maybe just won one. So that's pushes it all out there to 185.62, the odds there for that one. So a lot less than last week's, but hopefully something that we can pull off. But yeah, it's probably us for another week. As always, if you've made it this far, thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Remember to get involved in all your socials. Give us a like. Give us a 5-star. Enjoy your week ahead. Enjoy that opening round of footy that you can get into. If you're having a punt, do it responsibly, and hopefully we'll see you here next week.
Yeah, 100%. Sounds good. See you then.
Ciao.
Marshall skips away. Marshall's still going. Marshall's got Richards coming up outside. Now inside.
Arsenal have gone through an entire league campaign without losing.
Bennett